methods of breeding for disease resistance. Okay, methods of breeding for disease resistance. So we know breeding is carried out by, earlier the breeding was said to be conventional breeding methods. I told you already what do you mean by conventional. It is called as the traditional breeding methods. Okay, so in the starting period, ancient period, they were doing this conventional breeding techniques. In this conventional breeding techniques, or else like, so after later they started with mutational breeding. They started with mutational breeding. Earlier it started with conventional breeding and later it was developed to mutational breeding techniques. You know the conventional breeding techniques, no? It was mainly done for disease resistance. So in this conventional breeding techniques, what are the important methods they used are, one is said to be the selection method, and then they introduced the hybridization method. In conventional breeding methods for disease resistance, starting they use the selection method, then they slowly introduce the hybridization method, and finally they went for this. Later the mutational breeding methods were also introduced. Okay, so actually these breeding methods are essentially identical, like for in particular the plants which are made developed for resistant against diseases, the ultimate benefit is to increase the yield of the plants, because once if a plant is affected with fungal, bacterial or viral diseases, then the yield of the plants will be decreased. To improve the yield, you should concentrate the plants to be protected against diseases. So in that way, we started developing the varieties of plants that are resistant to diseases so that you can improve the yield of the plants. Okay, so this is the main target of our developing plants which are resistant against diseases. I will tell you what are the sequential steps in this plant breeding techniques. The sequential steps to be followed while developing the varieties of plants to make the plants resistant against diseases. What are the steps to be followed? Okay, so the first step is you have to screening germplasm. You know what are the steps to be followed in plant breeding? The first step is collection of germplasm, right? In that, in particular, when you are targeting for a variety of plant resistant to disease, you have to screen the germplasm for resistant sources. When you are going to create a plant resistant against disease, the germplasm collection should be screened properly for the resistant source. The second one is hybridization of parents. Okay, you know, after that you will select the parents. After selecting the parents, we will go for the hybridization of selected parents. I have combined the second step and third step together. Selecting parents and then hybridizing them in the third step. So I have combined hybridization of selected parents. And the third step is selection and evaluation of hybrids. Selection and evaluation of hybrids. According to the plant breeding technique, this will come in your fourth step, right? Selection and testing of your hybrid recombinant. That is selection and evaluation of hybrids. And what is the last step? Testing, release, and commercialization of new variety. This is your last step. Okay, either you can write it this step as one step, or else if you feel like you are getting confused, like in your plant breeding, you can write the second step as selection of parents, and third step as hybridization of selected parents, and fourth step is selection and evaluation of hybrid recombinant, and the last step is testing, release, and commercialization of new varieties. So these are the steps we followed in the plant breeding program. For making the plants resistant against diseases also, again the same 5 steps. But in the first step, you have to screen the germplasm based on the resistance character. That alone changes in the sequential steps. The other things are going to be same. Now, I will give you examples, some of the plant varieties that have been developed for resistant against disease. For high yielding variety, I gave you 4 examples, right? I gave you examples like wheat, rice, and then sugarcane and millets. Similarly, for plants resistance against diseases also, I will give you some examples. Examples of plant varieties. Examples of plant varieties developed as disease resistance. Developed as disease resistance. Some of the plant varieties which has been developed in India. I will list down some examples. The first example is wheat. The variety of wheat developed for resistance against disease is called as, the name of the variety is Himgiri. So this is plant ma, the crop, this is crop, and this is the variety. Okay, and again I will write down resistance to what, in what way they are resistant to diseases. To which disease they are resistant. Okay, I will write that also. So this wheat variety called as Himgiri, actually this was developed for resistance against diseases called as leaf and stripe rust disease. To make the plant resistance against leaf and stripe dust disease, and also one more disease that is called as hill bunt disease. So the variety, Himgiri variety of wheat is resistant to leaf and stripe rust disease and also the hill bunt disease. Okay. The second crop plant is Brassica. Brassica crop plant, and the variety of Brassica crop plant, already I gave this as an example in your crop improvement method, Pusa Swarnam variety. This Pusa Swarnam variety, it is resistant to white rust disease. And the third crop plant is cauliflower. Cauliflower, and the variety is called as Pusa Shubra. Pusa Shubra. Also you have one more variety called as Pusa Snowball K1. Snowball K1 variety. These two varieties are resistant against diseases called as black rot disease and curl disease, and one more disease called as blight black rot. Blight black rot disease. Okay, so this is third crop plant, and the fourth crop plant is cowpea. Cowpea plant. Okay, the variety of cowpea is called as Pusa Komal. Pusa Komal, and it is resistant against bacterial blight disease. Bacterial blight disease. And the last variety is chili. In chili, we have one variety called as Pusa Sadabahar. Pusa Sadabahar variety, Sadabahar. Pusa Sadabahar variety, and this is resistance against chili mosaic viral disease. It is resistance against chili mosaic virus, and also it is resistance against tobacco mosaic virus. Don't think like tobacco mosaic virus will causes disease only in tobacco plant. It will causes disease in other plant also. So chili mosaic virus, tobacco mosaic virus. So this variety is resistant against these two diseases. Okay. Now let me zoom and show you this slide so that you can copy it properly. Please copy the examples of plant varieties that are developed in India to make the plant varieties resistant against many bacterial, fungal and viral disease. So the first crop plant is beet plant. The name of the variety is Himgiri, and it is resistant. This variety is resistant to leaf and stripe rust and also hill bunt. And second crop plant is Brassica. The variety is Pusa Swarnam. It is resistant against white rust disease. The third plant is cauliflower. The varieties are Pusa Shubra, Pusa Snowball K1, and these varieties are resistant against black rot and curl, blight, black rot disease. Fourth one is cowpea. It is Pusa Komal variety, and it is resistant against bacterial blight. And fifth crop plant is chili. Chili, the variety is Pusa Sadabahar, and it is resistant against chili mosaic virus and tobacco mosaic virus disease. Okay, so these are the different plant varieties. Few examples. Don't think only these varieties of plants have been developed so far. We have thousands and thousands of varieties of plants that has been developed for this disease resistant. I have given you some important examples for this. Okay, so please copy this. And I will give you one more example for this mutation breeding variety. Okay, for mutation breeding variety, I will give you some examples. You first copy this slide, then I will give you the examples for mutation breeding varieties in plants resistant against disease. One student is asking me, can these process be done in humans against disease? Yes, of course. That's why you are given vaccines. Actually, we are given vaccines, right? So vaccines are given only to protect, make ourselves resistance against disease. In be given. Instead, they are making the plants resistant to disease by making some hybridization or breeding experiments. Okay. In animals, we cannot do that. Instead of that, we are introducing vaccines in our body to make the to make ourselves resistant against disease. Okay. Shall we move on to the mutation breeding? Yes. So I told you, right, in this slide, I told you this methods of breeding for can be done using selection and hybridization method. At the same time, it can be done using mutational breeding methods. Okay. So already we studied about mutational breeding in depth about when studying about the various crop improvement methods. So now let me tell you again a fast revision about this mutation, and I will give you one example for this. Okay. So you know, mutation is the process where which the genetic variations are created by changing the DNA sequence in them. So I told you, if you cause any change in the DNA sequence, this change in the DNA sequence will causes change in the genotype. At the same time, it will causes changes in the phenotype of the organism, right? And you know, this mutations can be caused by physical or chemical agents, and those physical and chemical agents are called as mutagens. I gave you example also. What are the mutagens that are commonly used to cause mutations in the plants? Some physical mutagens, I gave you gamma radiations, ionizing radiations, and then like shortwave electromagnetic radiation. And then chemical mutagens, I listed down some important chemicals that are used for causing this mutation in many plants. Okay, so example you just write down. Using this mutation breeding, how the plants are made resistant against diseases. Example is mung bean. M-U-N-G, mung means. Okay, so this mung bean is made resistance yellow mosaic virus, YMV, yellow mosaic virus, and also one more disease that is called as powdery mildew disease. So this mung beans are made resistant to yellow mosaic virus and powdery mildew by inducing mutation in them. By inducing mutation, the plant variety was made resistant to these two diseases, yellow mosaic virus disease and powdery mildew disease. Okay. And then one more thing, resistance to this yellow mosaic virus. I want to tell you one more plant that was created resistant to yellow mosaic virus is bindi. You know what is bindi? Lady's finger. Okay. So the biological name is Abelmoschus esculentus. Abelmoschus esculentus. This is the biological name of bindi, and this variety was created actually. It was made resistant against this yellow mosaic virus, and actually this is a wild species. Okay, this is a wild species of variety in bindi. From this variety, a new variety was created, and that is called as Parbani Kranti. Okay, so this is said to be a new variety of bindi. So this new variety of bindi was created from its wild species called as Abelmoschus esculentus, and this variety is said to be resistant to yellow mosaic virus. Okay, so it was created from its wild ancestor variety called as Abelmoschus esculentus, and the new variety is called as Parbani Kranti. Okay, so this is a very important NEET question. So many times it has been asked in your NEET exam. Okay, so please mark this. By this, we have completed the plant varieties that are resistant to disease. And the next one, what we are going to see is the plant varieties that has been developed resistant to insects and pests. Already we have discussed so many things about this insect and pest. So again, I will tell you some introduction and then some varieties of plants that has been developed resistant to insects and pests. Okay, so the next topic, the third application of plant breeding, what we are going to see is plants developed resistance to insects and pest. Insects and pest. Okay. Fine. You know, another major cause for the large level destruction of crop plants is because of this insect and pest. As they will enter into the agricultural crops, they will eat away the agricultural crops. Okay, and because of these insects and pests, the morphological, biochemical and physiological characters of the plant will be lost, and as a result the yield will also decreases. So I have told you one example, the BT cotton. We discussed in microbes in human welfare. You remember that cotton plant which was affected by cotton bollworm. Okay. So it was because of this cotton bollworm, the productivity of the cotton reduced, and thereby they produced the new variety of plant that is called as the BT cotton. So similar to that, I will give you some examples that the plant which were made resistance to insects or the pest. So we have the in cotton itself, we have one plant, cotton plant, that is resistance to jassids. Jassids are one types of insects which affects the cotton plant. So this resistant to jassids was created in cotton plant. And then one more plant that is resistance to leaf beetle. Leaf beetle. It was created in wheat plant. Okay, in wheat plant, actually the solid stems, no, it will lead to non-preference by this stems of life, and actually the nectar, it will be taken because of this insects and pests, and thereby it will affect the productivity of the plant. So because of this, these resistant varieties of cotton plant and wheat plant has been produced using this plant breeding program. Okay, and one more plant I will tell you. In maize, a new variety of plant that has been created, which is resistance to, in maize, a variety which was created that is resistant to stem borer disease. Stem borer disease. And this variety of maize plant, it consists of high aspartic acid, ASP. You remember ASP, amino acid, aspartic acid, and it consists of low nitrogen and high sugar content. This variety of maize plant consists of the following desirable characters. It is not only resistant to stem borer disease, but it also consists of high amino acid called as aspartic acid, low nitrogen and high sugar content. All these are other desirable characters present in the variety of maize plant that has been created resistant to the stem borer disease. Okay, now I will give you some more examples. Already we have discussed these examples. Anyways, again I will tell you, if you want to note down, you can write it now. So one is the Brassica variety of plant, which we call it as Pusa Gaurav. Pusa Gaurav variety, and this is resistant to aphids. It is resistant to aphids. Okay, the second variety of crop plant is in flat beans. So flat beans, what is the name I gave you? Pusa Sem2 and Pusa Sem3. These two varieties are resistant to aphids, jassids, and also fruit borer disease. And one more crop plant, okra, that is bindi. Okay, so this we have Pusa Savani and also Pusa A4. A4 variety. These two are resistant to shoot and fruit borer diseases. Shoot disease and fruit borer disease. Already I have listed all these things in examples under the various methods of crop improvement. Now I am segregating them properly under which topic these examples should come. Okay. So this Brassica variety of Pusas Gaurav, it is a resistant variety against aphids. Flat bean variety called as Pusa SEM2 and SEM3, they are resistant against aphids, jassids and fruit borer disease. And Okra Bindi variety, it is resistant, Pusa, that is Pusa Savani and Pusa A4, they are resistant against shoot and fruit borer diseases. Okay. Fine. The last application of your plant breeding, what we are going to see is how the plants can be, the plants developed, plant varieties developed in enhanced food quality. So I gave you one name for this enhanced food quality, nutrient quality. Can you tell me what is the name of the process, students? Already I have discussed about this. If the protein content, vitamin content, mineral content is increased in the crop plant, what is that process called as? Very good. Very good. Only one student has given me the answer. Yes, yes. It is called as biofortification. Very good. So that is what we are going to discuss now. Okay. So biofortification already you know, right? So if the plant variety is like, it is reduced in its, like if it is not having enough protein, vitamin, mineral content, so that we can improve the biochemical nature of the plants by using this biofortification. So mainly if the some micronutrients like iron, vitamin A, iodine, zinc and all, they will causes the deficiency disorders if you are not taking it properly, which also causes this mental disabilities and all. Okay. To improve the protein content, vitamin content, mineral content, nutrient content, we can go for this biofortification. I gave you some examples there. Again, I will give you some examples. In the year 2000, some hybrid varieties of maize are created. Okay. So these hybrid varieties of maize, okay, hybrids of maize. These hybrids of maize consist of twice the amount. It consists of twice the amount of amino acids. That is in particularly two amino acids. One is lysine, another one is tryptophan. Usually maize plant consists of this lysine and tryptophan in a very less amount. But in 2000, we developed one variety, hybrid variety of maize, which consists of twice the amount of amino acids. That are the two amino acid. One is lysine, another one is tryptophan. Okay, lysine and tryptophan amino acids compared to the existing maize breeds. Okay, and we have one variety in wheat. In wheat also we have one biofortified variety. That wheat variety is called as Atlas 66. It is called as Atlas 66, and this wheat variety consists of high protein content than the normal wheat variety. When compared with the normal wheat variety, this Atlas 66 variety consists of high protein content. And in rice also, we have the hybrid variety of rice, which is called as an iron fortified rice. Iron fortified rice. This iron fortified rice variety contains 5 times iron more than the normal variety of rice. Okay, so this iron fortified rice variety, no, it consists of 5 times iron content more than the normal variety of rice. So all these, similarly, I gave you some examples in biofortification. Do you remember vitamin A rich carrot, spinach, pumpkin, and then vitamin C enriched? I gave you some examples: mustard, tomato, bitter gourd, and then iron and calcium enriched spinach, protein enriched beans. I gave you some example: lab beans, French beans, garden peas, and all. Okay. So all these vegetable crops are released by an institute that is called as biofortification, and other plant breeding program are completely developed, and finally the crop varieties are introduced in India by this organization called as IARI. Already you studied about this organization in microbes in human welfare. Indian Agriculture and Research Institute. Indian Agricultural Research Institute. This institute will develop all these hybrid varieties of crops, and finally they will be responsible for releasing the crop varieties of plants in India. Okay, so by this we are ending up the plant breeding program. Okay, so students, plant breeding program, I will tell you what are the things we discussed in plant breeding program. Okay, first we saw what is the definition of plant breeding. Then I gave you a small introduction about green revolution. Then who introduced this green revolution, what is the objective of green revolution, everything. Then I gave you the steps of plant breeding, that is the conventional, classical and modern plant breeding. Then we discussed about a very important concept, what are the steps that are required to develop the new variety of plant using this plant breeding program. Okay, so under that we discussed some 5 important steps: collection of germplasm, selection of parents, hybridization among the parents, then testing the recombinant variety, and finally releasing the recombinant variety. Okay, and after that today we discussed how this plant breeding program has helped us in developing new varieties of plants under various desirable characters. We discussed 4 desirable characters today. That's it. That is there in your syllabus. The first desirable character what we discussed is high yielding variety to increase the productivity of the plant. The second one is plants that are made resistant to disease. The third one is plants that are made resistant to insects and pests. And fourth one is how you can enhance the nutrient quality of the plants using biofortification process. So this is your first slide of today's class, the high yielding varieties of plants. So this is the first slide. Students, those who didn't copy the notes, those who didn't take the notes in the previous class, please take a fast snapshot and have it with you. Later you can sit and copy these things in your class notebook. Okay. So the first one, high yielding variety, I told you. GR, where is GR? Oh, this GR. Okay, okay. Ma, this is, some students are asking, what is this GR? This is Green Revolution. Green Revolution. After the introduction of Green Revolution in India, we started developing the high yielding varieties of wheat and rice in 1960, which increased yield per unit area. This is Green Revolution. This GDP is gross domestic product. HYV is high yielding varieties of plants. Okay. And the second slide I will show you now. In the second slide, I have given you some examples for high yielding varieties. So the first 2 examples are in this slide. Wheat plant. So in this wheat plant, we have increased the production from 11 million tons to 75 million tons by introducing the semi-dwarf varieties of wheat. So the Mexican variety of wheat, it was introduced by Norman E. Borlaug. He was a scientist, he was an agriculturist, he was the person who initiated the Green Revolution, and with this person, in collaboration with this person, M.S. Swaminathan introduced the Green Revolution in India. Okay, he generally introduced Green Revolution in general, but in India, who introduced the Green Revolution is M.S. Swaminathan. He didn't introduce alone, he introduced the Green Revolution with the help of this Borlaug person. Okay, he was the person who developed the semi-dwarf variety of wheat. And using this semi-dwarf variety of wheat introduced by him, we started developing some high yielding varieties of wheat such as Sonalika and Kalyan Sona in the year 1963. And the second crop plant is rice. Again, this rice plant high yielding variety was also introduced by having the semi-dwarf variety of rice, which was developed in IRRI, that is International Rice Research Institute in Philippines, and the variety name is called as IR8. And this variety from Philippines, it was introduced in India in the year 1966. Again, using this variety, we started producing some high yielding varieties such as Jaya and Ratna. Okay, and now the third variety of plant that was high yielding variety was sugarcane. Saccharum barberry and Saccharum officinarum. This is a North Indian variety and this is a South Indian variety. When we crossed these 2 varieties, we had a new variety of sugarcane having the desirable characters of producing high yield, more sugar content, thick stem, and ability to grow in the North India. And the fourth high yielding variety is millet. So millets are small seeds, plants having small seeds. The millets that were introduced in India for high yielding variety are bajra, jowar, maize. All these are hybrid varieties of millets which are resistant to water stress also. Okay. And the second character, desirable character we discussed is plants resistant to disease. Some of the common fungal, bacterial and viral disease that occur in plants are the list of these things. And what are the methods of breeding for disease resistance? One is the conventional, another one is the mutational breeding. This conventional breeding includes selection and hybridization method. Mutational breeding, you know, how can be done using causing the mutation in the plants by inducing some mutagens into them. Okay, so the sequential step of this breeding process is, first you have to screen the germplasm based on resistant source, and then you have to select the parent, then you have to hybridize them, then you have to test the recombinant, and finally you have to release the recombinant for commercial purpose. And some of the plant varieties developed for disease resistance are wheat, Himgiri variety, Brassica pusa swarnam variety, cauliflower. Students, all these varieties, some of the varieties are there in your NCERT and some of them will not be there, but you have to mug up all the varieties because NEET question will be there from these concepts and all. Okay. Cauliflower variety Pusa Shubra and Pusa Snowball K1, cowpea variety Pusa Komal, chili variety Pusa Sadabahar. Okay. Now the next one is mutational breeding. I gave you example. By causing mutation, by using mutagens, we can induce the mutation in the plants. Example is mung beans, which is resistant to yellow mosaic virus and powdery mildew, is developed by using mutation concept. And one more thing is bindi. This is also resistant to yellow mosaic virus. From the wild species, we created a new variety. The wild species is Abelmoschus esculentus, and the new variety is called as Parbani Kranti. Okay, the new variety that was developed is Parbani Kranti. And the third one is plants that are developed resistant to insects and pests. So we know already we have studied some in the microbes and human welfare. Some of the other examples are, in cotton we have one variety resistant to jassid, insect. In wheat we have a variety resistant to leaf beetle. And in maize also we have a variety that is resistant to stem borer disease. This maize variety will have, it consists of high aspartic acid, amino acid, low nitrogen and high sugar content. Okay. And then Brassica variety we have Pusa Gaurav that is resistant to aphids. Flat bean variety we have Pusa Sem2 and Sem3 that are resistant to aphids, jassids and fruit borer. And the last okra variety is Pusa Sabani and Pusa A4 that is resistant to shoot and fruit borer disease. Now the last one is the varieties of plants that has been developed for enhancing the nutrient quality. In that year 2000 we created so many hybrid varieties of maize, wheat and rice. In maize hybrid variety, biofortified crop, we have twice amount of amino acid, lysine and tryptophan than the wild variety. Then wheat variety, we have one variety called as Atlas 66. This consists of high protein content. And in rice variety, you have iron fortified rice variety, which have 5 times iron more than the normal variety. And all these plant varieties are introduced by in India by this IARI organization, that is Indian Agricultural and Research Institute. Okay, students, hope you have copied all the slides. If you want to show me any of the slides, you can tell me. 9th slide. Okay. So from 5th onwards, they are asking me to show. Wait. So this is the 5th one, ma. I'm showing the slides from the 5th one. This is 5th one. Yes, shall I move on to the next slide? So the next last concept in this chapter we are going to discuss about is tissue culture, plant tissue culture. Okay, this is 6th slide. Today I will just give you an introduction about tissue culture, and tomorrow we can complete this chapter. Tomorrow I will be able to finish this tissue culture, and by tomorrow this chapter will get over. And I think tomorrow is Thursday, right? So students, like this week Friday, you will not have the chapter test. Instead, hereafter you will be writing the complete 3-hour test, NEET exam. So as you used to write in your school days, every Saturday you will write the NEET exam, right? 3 hours NEET exam. Similarly, you will have the NEET exam I don't know whether it is going to be this week or not, but you please be prepared. I will tell you the portions. In biology, the portion is microbes in human welfare chapter. Okay. So please be prepared with microbes in human welfare chapter. Anytime you may have this 3 hours NEET exam. I think mostly it will be on Saturday, right? Saturday, every Saturday you will be writing as you wrote in your school days. Every Saturday you will be having NEET test. Hereafter you will not have the chapter test each subject on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, like that. Okay. So this is 6th one, ma. Now I will show you the 7th slide. This is 7th slide. This is 7th one. This is 8th one. This is 8th. This is 9th. And this is the last one, 10th slide. Students, sorry for the trouble happened today. There was a little confusion in the, actually some changes happened yesterday in the schedule that resulted in this confusion today. So please, today evening or today night, you will get the proper schedule for the forthcoming classes. Okay, tomorrow or forthcoming classes, you will get the proper schedule. So let us have a we'll have a discussion and finalize, and then we will send you the in all whoever that is whoever are like having so suppose KNMS students, I will send you the schedule. Okay, I will send you the schedule in all WhatsApp group. So today, very sorry for the inconvenience that happened today. It is because of small confusion. Okay. Yes, this class will end up, it will get over by 4:30, ma. Don't worry, I will not extend more than that. I know you are all very tired listening to bio class for a long time. Fine. So I will just give you a small introduction about plant tissue culture. So we can study about this in detail tomorrow. Okay. So please put down the next heading, plant tissue culture.